Sometimes the sketch will say, "This is the way I want you to draw me." And when it does, it's always wise to listen. This modest little painting is really one of many experiments that I did in preparation for a much larger painting called The Run. When I tell people, oh, it took a year to paint that, 80% of that time is testing my brushes, different strokes, which kinds of paint I want to use, an array of colors, the composition. I intended to do a watercolor course on a big sheet of Arches paper. I reasoned that with the fluid, wet brush strokes, that would convey more emotion, right? And to get it right, I filled my art studio. I just thumbtacked up photos from breeder books, all kinds of stallions. I studied and sketched the arch of the horse's neck, his muzzle, his jawline, the flow of his mane, his shoulder muscles. There was one stallion in particular, Ibn Monet el Nefus. I loved his muzzle. That's the part right around the nose. I just love that. But after months of experimentation, I was ready. I started lightly sketching the shape of the horse on the watercolor paper drawing with a pastel pencil, but the more I drew, the more I liked the idea of this horse remaining a drawing rather than a painting. So the actual original called The Run is a finished pencil sketch that hangs in our home, but this little watercolor, like I said, it was just supposed to be an experiment. But I simply could not leave something so lovely in my flat files. It was just too beautiful. I've been asked, why paint horses in motion? Well, let me answer that with this illustration. Sometimes you see Japanese art in which there is a branch and a little bird, kind of like tucked over on the side in a corner. And then the rest is just blank, just a big empty canvas. And to the Western eye, we don't understand that. We don't know why it looks so off-center. Why would the Japanese artist do that? And why this big empty space? Well, to the Japanese, if a bird is to be a bird, then you've got to paint the space that he's going to fly in. That's part of who the bird is. And in the same way, horses, I think God designed them to run and run fast. They enjoy running. To see a horse standing like a statue, he loses his horsiness. But when you convey a horse running, then you have captured why God created this magnificent animal. Some horses are meant for the show ring, like this one. And when I study its run, its motion, its flowing grace, I mean, look what I was able to do with watercolor. I made his legs move with a watercolor brush coming off of each leg. His muzzle moves more with watercolor lines, more watercolor brush strokes behind his jaw, and of course his flowing mane. It's all grace, and it becomes a picture of Hebrews chapter 12. Let us run. Doesn't this horse look like he's running? Let us run with endurance the race God has set before us. And this little guy is a reminder to do just that every day.